Hello, everyone. We have another interview. After popular demand, we have here with us today Steven Rodriguez, aka the True Champion. How you doing?
Hi, Mom. I'm on TV. I'm doing really good. How you doing, Mario?
I'm good. I'm good. Thank you for asking. So I'm gonna ask you some questions I have lined up. I'll ask you whatever Twitch wants to ask you, and then I'll let you ask me a few questions at the end, or however.
Oh, you want me to ask you questions?
If you got anything to ask. If you don't, then don't.
All
But if
right,
you
I'll
need,
think I'll think of something, I guess.
all right. Very good. So let's start off. Tell us a little bit about Steven. Outside of content creation, what is Steven's life?
Pretty boring, I would say. Most days I'm waking up, I'm making some green tea, I'm going for a walk, and I'm just clearing my head to get ready for the rest of the day. I'll head into the office that I work at, which is normally a pool construction office, but sometimes my office is the actual roads here in California because I'm driving to all of our different jobs that we have going on at any one time to manage them, keep up with our subcontractors and all that stuff. Very boring, very logistical, not fun at all. And then I'm talking with family, hanging out with my nephews most days, most weeks, because they're fun and they're great. And then in terms of like when I'm not making content or working on these obsessions that I call card games, I'm probably just watching at this point in time whatever British panel show I've gotten my hooks into recently. I'm a big fan of overseas game shows that use comedians and or other minor celebrities for fun. that's that's what a typical day looks like for your boy, and it is as boring as it sounds.
I don't think that's boring. I think that's pretty regular.
It's
See,
very like what life stuff looks like, and life in and of itself is just a macabre excuse to keep the clocks passing until it's all over. I'm gonna keep it light. Hold on, but that's that's usually how most days go.
fair enough. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. You'll love to see it, so I'm fine with that. That's great. Good. So now that that's out of the way, what made you decide that you wanted to become a content creator? What was the driving force? Did you just wake up one day and say, I want to do this, and I'm going to do it? Or was there something else?
Well, yeah, kinda. So the story harkens back to a long time ago. Well, I guess relatively long time ago. About I want to say the summer of 2018. I was one of the very select few that got to compete in the 2018 Pokemon World Championships in Nashville, Tennessee, one of my dream cities of all life. Amazing trip, couldn't believe it. One of the best weeks of my life, and I met a lot of Pokemon content creators or people that I had known online in the community that I have helped learn to play Pokemon or learn to play other games throughout my tenure as a competitive TCG player. And and you know how it goes. People tell you you should be on TV, you should have a radio show, you should at the time make content about the games that you love. And people just tell you this all the time. But me, I'm like, I don't like talking to people. I don't think people like talking to me, so I definitely disagree with you. But I appreciate the compliment. Anyway, after that amazing trip and meeting all those amazing people, I did think about it and I thought, well, I mean, it is a way to interact with the TCG communities that I love that I've never tried before. And so I had literally, this was a summer that I saved extra money from my old job that I used to have that I was saving for paying for tuition. And basically, one quarter, I had like an extra 100, $500 or something that I was able to just spend on whatever I wanted. And instead of doing what I normally do, which was buying more trading cards, I bought a computer and I bought a PC. It was an actual piece of crap at the time. Still is by today's standards. And I just started recording and making videos about the three games I was competitively playing at that time, which was Dragon Ball Super, Card by Vanguard, and of course, the Pokemon TCG. And from there, it just kind of became a neat hobby that I would do when I would get home. This was also around the time that I started living by myself for the first time in my life. No roommates, no family, no nothing. And so my days were filled with me just like aimlessly walking to get food, aimlessly walking back home, and not doing much else. So I figured it was time to do something that I could work on myself and take pride in that I wasn't doing at school, that I wasn't doing at work. So from there, we fast forward to Coco, COVID times, and a lot of my life has changed. I'm still making content on and off for these games that I'm talking about, but in terms of free time, I no longer had a job, no longer had school. I was fully graduated, a quarter early, in fact, about 3 months or so, and I was just like, well, time for me to go play some more card games. And at the time, Vanguard Zero had just come out. I started making content for that. And as that grew, so did my actual audience. People actually wanted to watch me do these things versus just me wanting to make these things. And that's when it became like, oh, I could do this. And not only could it be self-sustaining, it could also just be like a new avenue for me to get skills in. And that's when I really like actually tried to get good at making content and not just make content that I wanted to do. So here we are now. It's pretty much the end of the story. I'm still just making the content that I want, but I think I'm doing it in a way that people can enjoy, take value in, and for some reason I get benefits from that, like more money to spend on these videos or these card games that are rightfully obsessions more than anything else.
Yeah,
That's about it.
That's really cool. And you're 100% right. You have found something that works, and you're doing it, and it's helping feed the obsession of card games. And
That's all it's
cool.
for. That's all it's for. That's all that it is. All it
Nice.
is me showing people how obsessed I am, and then doing it some more. That's all it is. It's great.
I think people, you know a little bit about the psychology. I think people
I
tend to be
studied
drawn.
psychology in college. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. People tend to, I think, be drawn more to things that they can find obsessive. Like they see someone else obsessing about something or very much interested in something, and then they want to experience that. They don't want to live through you per se. Sometimes they do, but sometimes that you kind of convince them through your enjoyment to really get started. So I think it's one of the really cool things that we do as content creators. We don't just make the cool content and share what we love to do, but we also convince people through our enthusiasm to actually get into it. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I always try whenever I make anything to make things that I authentically care about or am passionate about. Because if I'm not, I feel like what I'll be doing is boring and no one wants to partake in boring stuff. Like, I get heated when I lose or win games on like both ends, right? And people will see that and they'll connect with that or they'll be bothered by that. But because of that, they'll interact with it. And that's what creates the value is, oh, we're sharing this new experience together, or I'm creating something and documenting something that I already love that hopefully you will love too, either by already loving it and watching it or not loving it, watching it, and then suddenly loving it. You know, I am very blessed that I get messages all the time saying, you are the reason why I'm playing Digimon, and it's actually the best thing in my life right now. And I'm like, that's great that this game is great for you, but I really doubt I had any part in that more than just showing it to you. So I'm always grateful when I'm given those messages, and I think it speaks to that thing you're talking about of, you know, living vicariously through us, but then learning to love it yourself, which is great.
Absolutely. We're going to move on to some Twitch sub questions here. SJ Anthony had 2 questions for you.
Oh my.
The first question, when you are making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, do you put the peanut butter on first, or do you put the jelly on first, and why?
So neither. And the reason is I don't make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. I make peanut butter and banana sandwiches, and it doesn't matter which one goes on first.
Okay, you know,
So that's my answer to that question. I'm not a big fan of spreadable fruit. Doesn't jive with me.
Okay, no, that's fair. That's okay. Other question here, is Metagross actually your favorite Pokemon?
Yes, he's the best. No, he's not my favorite. He's the best Pokemon. You know what? The best gift, one of the best gifts I've ever been given in my life was from some random person. I have a PO box, and they sent this to me. I'll grab it right now. It is. I don't know what you call it. Oh gosh, it's stuck. Okay. I don't know what you call it, but it's some kind of unique artwork from one of those Japanese pop culture websites. And they imported one of these, and they sent me one. And it's gorgeous, and it's of my boy, Metagross, and it's just fabulous. I love it so much. I have not figured out the best way, because it comes out of this little thing. I've not figured out the best way to sort of display it. I kind of want to put it as like a folder uh, uh, trinket that like adds to the folder of cards that I have, but I don't have any of those folders that have like screens you can like put stuff into. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna figure out something to do with this one day. But it is truly lovely. I love this boy.
That's nice. Awesome. Digiburst has a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What in the Digimon trading card game? What card artwork is your favorite?
Artwork. Ooh.
Yep.
So everyone knows my favorite card is Slash Andromont, no question. But artwork, I've asked this question myself to people, and I'm always surprised by the answers that people give. But if I had to pick one as of right now, I have a soft spot in my heart for the alternate art Slash Andromon because they did my boy right, and they did him sexy, and it was great. But if I had to pick one that isn't clouded by my biases and is just of the appreciation of the artwork itself, I don't actually think it's an alternate art either. I think it's the I think this card comes out in set oh no, it is an alternate art. It's the alternate art rare Alphamon from set 9. I pulled one of those in my set 9 booster box that I opened from Japan, and it is truly breathtaking how gorgeous that is. And I'm a big fan of glow up alternate arts, where like if you compare the alternate art to the original, the alternate art just blows it out of the water. That is so true for the Alphamon from set 9. So that's my answer. But it could change depending on my mood. And if I actually had like all the cards in front of me, maybe it changed. But that's in my head, my gut answer for that.
All right. That's nice. Good. That was a very good answer. Thank you for answering that question.
You're welcome.
To anyone else in Twitch chat, if you would like to ask a question, just to clarify, you do have to like sub. If you haven't already subbed, you sub, or you have to gift a sub. If you do one or the other, you can ask the question. But now I will go back to the questions here. I have a few more questions. I have.
Nice.
What made you really get into Digimon? What's the driving force behind Digimon?
So I have a lot of friends in various TCG communities, and one of them told me about while I was playing Vanguard Zero, the Digimon TCG that had just, I think, been released in Japan. I think it was like April or May of like 2020 when I was told this. And I was like, oh, I love Digimon. Maybe I'll check it out. And I'd say another like 2 weeks passes by, and they announce Set 2, Ultimate Power, I believe was what it was called at the time. And it has my boy Shine Greymon, it's got my boy Piedmon, Puppetmon, a lot of dudes that I love. And I was like, oh, okay, we'll take a look at this. And then they revealed eventually the secret rare for it, and it was Blackboard Greymon. And I was like, oh, okay, now you've got me. I'm hooked. So I spent what I would say is the better part of a month and a half, 2 months, just nonstop catching up with the game, you know, joining the TTS Discord servers that were out there, never playing a game, just joining them, seeing the deck lists that were being posted in the weekly events, talking with some players, and then on the Japanese side of thing, watching Japanese content creators that were showing off this game nonstop. I did not need to understand a single word they were saying. Once I learned the rules, I was able to figure it out from there thanks to the lovely Japanese to English translators we had in the community at the time that were basically keeping the English side of things alive. If again it wasn't for all the extra free time I had due to Coco's tear on the world as we know it, I definitely would not have had the time for all this research that I was throwing into this game that at the time had no hope of coming to the English lands. But I didn't care. I was having some fun. I wasn't playing IRL Pokemon competitively, and I wasn't playing Dragon Ball Super or Cardfight Vanguard competitively anymore. I had all the free time in the world. Vanguard Zero was pretty easy to keep up with. So that is, I guess, the reason I started playing. But then what like stuck it for me was this is a good game, and I thought the community that we had at the time, while it was amazing and super helpful, no one really knew about it that wasn't already a part of it. And so I was like, well, I have somewhat of an audience. Maybe I'll talk about this game now because I'm playing it, I love it, and I want to show it off to some people. And so I started making videos there. We got the confirmation that it was getting localized. Halla frickin' Luya. And then I was just like, well, I wasn't planning on stopping playing this game, and now I can play it for realsies and have it actually matter and actually play with people. So that was all she wrote, pretty much.
Yeah, that's nice. Uh, it's always fun to hear how different people get into Digimon. Everyone has a completely different answer, and
Mm-hmm.
it's fun to see. Do you think that you'll be making Digimon content in like 3 to 5 years at this point in time? Do you not know? Do you have other plans? What's going on? Do you know?
Well, when it comes to my content, I don't really plan it as much as people might think that I do. Like I have these things that like I'm now known for doing, like the all my deck videos, the must-have cards, Digimon Conquest, whatever. Like those are probably gonna happen every time new sets come out. But in terms of like 5-year plan or anything, I don't think about my content that way. You know, my content's always been just this thing that I make when I want to make it. It's never been this thing that I have to report to. You know, like it's not a job to me. It truly isn't. It's not a thing that I expect to do in the next 5 years unless I'm still happy doing it. You know, I don't. People ask me sometimes, "Hey, Steven, how do I become more successful in the realm of content creation?" And I'll tell them like, well, I don't think you should think of it that way. I don't think you should start thinking of it as like a business or a thing you can continuously do for the rest of your life. I'll be honest with you right now, Mario. Like, if everything about my content, Twitch, YouTube, everything was gone tomorrow, just disappeared off the face of the earth, I don't think my life would change at all. I don't think it would be the biggest deal in the world because I don't make content so I can play card games or live my life. I live my life and play card games and just happen to also make content at the same time. So I feel like letting go of needing this to succeed kind of gives me the freedom to just like, if something works, who cares? If it doesn't work, also who cares? I wanted to make it. That's all that matters. So I have no idea what it will look like 5 years from now because I can't honestly say that I'll be playing Digimon for 5 years from now, given how my life might look. You know, I'm only 23 years old, so, you know, sky's the limit in terms of options that are available to me. There's a good chance I won't even live in California a year from now. I don't have any plans to move anywhere, but that's not saying that an option won't arise for me, right? So my options are always open. I am not worried about where my content's coming from next week or 2 weeks from now. If I have an idea that takes like, oh, this will be better in this month than this month, then I'll wait and I'll make it. But that's about it.
Yep. I appreciate how similar we are. It's always fun to hear because I'm the same way. Like I'm not 23, I'm 29, going on 30 in a couple of months. But like anything
You're
can change
different in
just
that
like that.
in that more or less your life's already figured out. And if this doesn't fit in that life, you're not gonna put it in
Yeah,
there. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? Like that's what your situation is pretty much.
Pretty much. Good, good. I have one final question on my list. Then the rest of the time is just Twitch sub questions and whatever you got for me.
Only 4 questions, bud?
Five
I thought you were
questions.
gonna have way more questions for me. I guess you and I, you know, shoot the crap all the time, so there's not much else we can talk about.
We do talk quite frequently. Don't chat. Just so you know, Steven and I do have regular conversations, heartfelt conversations even.
They're usually how do you say that? Teedlessly long, and they usually involve me telling you about a new card that I bought. That's usually about it.
Yeah. All right. Final question for me. Do you have people that have inspired you to be the best you? That can be for content creation. That can be for your career right now, your education. Is there anyone that inspires you to be you?
Oh, I mean, well, my entire family, my sisters, my mom, my dad, they are the perfect human beings in my eyes. I try my best to have like a combination of all their best traits whenever I do anything. You know, people have that saying of like, what would my mom do in this situation, or what would my dad think of me in this situation? I think, what would all of them do? Which one do I like the most? I'll go with that one. Not in terms of which family member I like, but which decision do I think jives with my current moral or ethical compass at that time, and then I'll go with that one. So they're just amazing human beings. They taught me the value of hard work. They taught me how to respect individuals, and they taught me how to, despite how amazing or lucky you might be in life, be grateful for everything, and always understand that there's a difference between expecting something and earning something. Those are things that I try to always work towards, and they taught me that, and they're just the only people in my life that I will ever look to and be like, I want to be more like them, not less.
Right. Good. Love to hear it. Family, big inspiration. Truly wholesome, 100%. All right. Eagle Scout John, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Much appreciated. If you have a question you want to ask Steven, go ahead and post it in the chat.
I'm
in the
here.
meantime, I'll ask Castle of Glass's question.
Okay.
I think it was No. Outlaw? Who was it?
Someone asked a question, and you're going to read it. Thank you.
Double Weigh Me. You gifted a gift sub to Outlaw Star. What was your question you wanted to ask? What was your question, Double Weigh Me? It was you. And Eagle Scout John, what is you? What is your question? While they're posting their questions, Steven, you got anything you want to ask me?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna flip this. I'm gonna be like, where do you take inspiration from, you little Canadian devil? What do you look towards to drive you to do your daily things?
That's a truly interesting question. Some people look at me and think, okay, so money inspires him. That's the guy, big dollars, and I'm like, nah.
They don't understand how content creation works, do they?
it's not simple. It's not simple like that. For me, even though my father has been the most difficult person in my life, he has inspired me to be the best person because he's very much a perfectionist, and everything needs to be done right, perfectly, and to the best quality possible. Which is maybe part of the reason why I'm doing like accounting and businesses and stuff, because you have to be very fine detailed to do that kind of stuff. But he pushed a lot of values down, and even though we don't see eye to eye sometimes, he's definitely inspired me to be the person that I am. Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts does not inspire me as much as people think.
We all know that I guess you are Team Dunkin' now, but if you had to like choose, get rid of one forever, is it Tim Hortons or is it Dunkin'? Which one goes away forever?
It's Tim Hortons.
What? It's because you're too used to it. I think it's just
probably.
like I've had it too much. It's spoiled now. I want more new. All right, I get it.
Eagle Scout John, I don't have any questions. I just hated the ads. Well,
ads do be like that. Ads do make you feel that way. Oh yeah.
Well, I appreciate the sub nonetheless. Thank you. I hope you enjoy the ad-free time. And double weigh me here. I would like to ask, do you think we need more Digimon creators like Mario was preaching the other week? And do you think I could do it? All right, Steven, do you think we need more creators? And do you think anyone can do it?
So the idea of need more creators is not a word that I love, but I do think we would graciously love more. You know, like I don't think more is a bad thing. But to say we need them implies that we're missing something at the current point in time, and I just feel like that isn't true. I feel like Digimon is killing it in terms of a community right now, in pretty much all aspects. But I will say that in terms of, I don't know who this double whammy person is, other than they love Anchorman. I'm not sure if being a content creator is for you or not. What I will say is that if you plan on being a content creator, understand that a lot of it has to come from you. A lot of your motivation, a lot of your ideas, a lot of the work needs to come from you. And if you're willing to put in that work, because there is actual work involved in doing it, then I would say try it and see if it is for you. But don't go thinking because there's a gap, I should fill it, unless you truly think you can do a good job or a job that will make you satisfied and happy with the work you are putting in. I'm a very utility-focused person. If whatever I'm doing doesn't actually either benefit my life or satisfy me in some way, I'm just not going to keep doing it. So finding little ways to incorporate anything into your life that can make it satisfying will just encourage you to do it more. So my number one piece of advice to any new content creator out there, I think I actually gave this to Mario during his video about it, was to document instead of create. You know, don't put this pressure on yourself to come up with a new idea that's going to shake up the YouTube algorithm or show the sheeple of YouTube. This is how you really make content. You don't got to worry about that. Do it if you have those cool ideas, but you will be shocked at how a good idea that ends terribly can just ruin your motivation. What you want to do is do very low effort stuff, share your experiences of the things you love with people, see if that does anything. When that gets success, you can snowball it into sort of motivating you to try out these new creative ideas, and then hopefully those will land because you've already grown. And so you'll keep wanting to do those as well. You know, like it's a snowball of motivation that comes from something super simple.
Good question. I hope that helps you, Double. I hope that helps you a lot. One more sub question from Tuoli. Thank you, Tuoli. What are Steven's thoughts about the next set for My Hero Academia?
The Crimson Rampage is awesome. It's one of the coolest sets of cards I've ever looked at. And I'm very, very excited to play a combination of, for all the My Hero fans out there, Bakugo 2, Stain 1, and I know it's simple, but Toga's going to be like a pretty broken deck, so I'm probably going to give that a shot as well. But those are the big three that I'm really excited for. But in terms of the overall set, I think it's one of those, like, it does what I like out of like a set 2 or set 3, where it kind of introduces the idea of new archetypes while also building on existing ones in a more cohesive way, which I'm a big fan of.
Good. Okay. That means nothing to me. However, I'm super thrilled that you're excited about it. And it's nice to see you playing My Hero. It's cool. It's refreshing.
Oh, the game is really cool. I'm really enjoying it. I'm playing in a provisional this weekend, I think. Yeah.
Good. All right. Do you have any other questions for me, Steven?
What made you want to start doing these interviews, homie?
I think it started as... So, okay, I've always thought about doing interview type of content. It's always been on the backest of back burners. No chat, not money. Let's calm down here. Not money. It started. I think it started as a meme for real. When I was streaming more and more, it became something that came up over and over and over, and it just ended up. We started it. We did one, I think, last week. It went well. Do another one today. We'll be doing another one probably next week and the week after, and we'll see how it goes. I don't mind making the content. It's really cool.
Is it just going to be Digimon creators, or is it going to be people that you just find interesting and you want to talk to?
Probably start with Digimon and then go from there. You already know we're going to get Mr. Ryan Ruggles O'Rourke on the stream at some point, and we already know that's going to happen, and probably some others too, but... You know.
What I want you to do, and this is just because I want this from that interview when you do it with him, is don't talk about any card games at all. Just talk to him about his art, because as someone who can't create anything that anyone wants to look at ever, I love talking to artistic people and hearing what they say. So please just have him talk only about his art and nothing else. I wouldn't watch it if it was about anything else.
There. Okay, you know what? I'm sure that it'll come up in conversation, the art part.
Definitely.
Art part.
If not, have him. If not, just tell him beforehand to find a clever way to work it in. That's all that matters to me.
Okay. All right. Ryan, if you're watching the stream right now, which you might be, sometimes you watch my streams. There you go. There you go. You know it's coming.
Wow, he's not subbed with notifications on, having it on his TV at all times. Fake friend.
Fake
not a real
friend. I know. God, people. My end goal is to interview Haley Steinfeld. Yeah. Would be cool.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Get that pull. Get that Mario pull going. Oh yeah.
I think anything is possible. So you know
wait,
what?
just so I know, Haley Steinfeld is the lady from Pitch Perfect, right?
Pitch Perfect, Hawkeye. She got her own series. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yep.
Get after it, brother.
Get after it. Okay, I'll hit her up. Let's see what happens. Anyone have any other questions? Steven, you got anything else for me?
No, bro. Thank you for having me on, is what I'll say now in case we don't have time for that. But it's an absolute pleasure, as always, talking with you and having an audience this time. So that's pretty cool.
That's always fun. Yep, of course. I think we are good. So, Steven, I'm going to thank you for coming on the interview. It's always been a slice. It's always a slice.
Subscribe to the Mario's Gaming World YouTube channel if you haven't already for more hard-hitting content like this. And check him out on Twitch. I'm sure the link will be found down below, as always.
You know it.